and preparing healthy food for myself and my family is a huge priority of mine. But as a busy mom, I know that this is not necessarily an easy feat. And the key to really being able to pull this off is to find a way for you to approach this in your kitchen that is actually doable and sustainable for you. I always say that eating real food is one of the most direct paths to improving your health and improving how you feel on a daily basis, because not only is food providing the nutrients that your cells literally need to carry out their functions, but eating and the quality of the food that you eat and in the way that you eat it can have a direct and pretty immediate impact on how you're actually feeling. And when you're eating real food that is simply prepared, you're not only providing your body the nutrients that it needs, but you're not providing all of the additives and stabilizers and preservatives that are going to come from store-bought or pre-prepared food. Now, of course, there are exceptions to that. There are certain packaged foods that are made with simple ingredients, but to do this in a way that is financially feasible, you're going to probably be making most or a good majority of your food yourself, which is going to take more time in your kitchen. And while in theory, I think all of us can get behind eating more real food for the health benefits, but in practice is typically where people get stuck. So today I want to bring you guys into my kitchen and share with you what's working for me right now. I love to share with you guys kind of what I'm learning and how I'm executing things, because I am always learning and always evolving, and with seasons of life changing, different things work at different times. And right now for me, just relying on kitchen rhythms has been so helpful, and it's just what I keep coming back to as the most feasible way for me to make a lot of real food to nourish my family, but in a way that's not overwhelming. I know a lot of people love like a big freezer prep day, and honestly, I love that idea in theory, but in practice, it just doesn't work for me, because in this season of life, I can't just commit an entire day to cooking and like doing hardly anything else outside of that. And also, I personally just find it really wipes me out, so I just don't actually like doing it. And I feel like we run into this a lot, especially with the internet and social media. There's so much inspiration out there and it's all good, but we can tend to think, this is the way, if I want to eat healthier, I need to do a big freezer prep day. Like, this is the way it should be done. But I just want to encourage you guys to always stop and think, does this actually work for me? Is this actually serving me in the way that it's supposed to? And the answer might be no. And if that's the case, then you just need to kind of figure out what exactly works for you. So for me, I always come back to just having rhythms in my kitchen. And what I mean by rhythms are the things that I repeat over and over. I just get in a flow or get in the habit of executing in my kitchen. There are seasons where I am scheduled down to a day. On certain days, I make certain things. Right now, especially in the summertime, things are just a little bit more lax. I'm just kind of going with more of a flow, and I make things when I have the time or just as they're needed. But I would say my rhythms kind of boil down to 4 main objectives. Something that has protein in it to eat for lunch, something quick and healthy to grab for a snack, something fermented for the gut, and baked goods for the week. It's usually always at the start of the week that I create something to eat for lunch, and it's just something that's high in protein. You guys know I love, one of my repeat favorites in my house is chicken salad, and I usually make it in slightly different ways so that it's not always just the same thing. This week I just made a ranch seasoned chicken salad with chopped up chicken. I just baked some chicken thighs that I had. I added some mayo, some chopped up celery and red onion, a little bit of white wine vinegar. I added in some fresh dill from my garden, and then a little bit of ranch seasoning just from a packet, super easy. I'll link the exact one down below that I use because it's a pretty clean version. So I will just knock that out and stick it in my fridge, and then it gives me something to structure lunches around. So you can eat the chicken salad over greens, you could put it in a wrap, you could have avocado toast on the side. It's just something easy. I also usually stock other quick proteins like grass-fed burgers I get from Costco, little pre-portioned wild salmon fillets that I also get from Costco. And then I also utilize leftovers for lunch, but I like to always have something prepped so that if there aren't leftovers or I don't have time to quick cook a burger or salmon, I have something that I literally can just grab so quickly and get some high quality fuel in, because my days are busy and lunch is my least favorite meal. I don't like lunch. I don't like to sit down and eat it. I don't like to be spending time preparing it, but I know that I need it. So I just like to have something in the fridge that's just ready to go, that is highly nourishing, high in protein to keep me going, and that makes my life a lot easier. I am a firm believer that health is wealth, and you guys see here on my channel how much time I invest into making real food, into waking up early to work out and take care of myself, because I want to feel good on a daily basis so that I can show up and do all the things that I want to do, but also for longevity. Lord willing, I hope to be here for a very long time, to see my kids grow and have grandkids, and to be able to enjoy all the seasons of life with health and vitality. In order to achieve that, you really have to know what's going on the inside of your body, so you can use that data to inform your choices on how you take care of yourself, which is why I am truly delighted to tell you guys about today's video sponsor, Function Health. I love Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the data that most people never see, plus the insights to actually take action. Inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers, from heart and hormones to toxins to inflammation to stress. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secure place over time. It's an enhanced view of what's happening inside your body, which is why top health leaders like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and Dr. Jeremy London are all behind Function Health. The lab visits themselves are fast and convenient. They have over like 2,000 locations in the US. When I went for mine, it was super easy. There was one really close by and it was no big deal. It's $4.99 a year, which comes out to just $1.37 a day for cutting edge health insights. All of your results are tracked in one secure place so you can see everything over time. You get insights from top doctors. All of these tests could cost you over 10 grand if you were to do it on your own. And my favorite part is there are no incentives here. Function does not push supplements or pharmaceuticals. It's just unbiased health data that's designed simply to help you. I had a few results that came back out of limits, which is just so helpful because you can make guesses, but unless you really know what's going on inside, you can't actually make the changes that your body needs to thrive. Truly nothing is better than having that actual data to inform the healthy choices that are actually going to have an impact. And I just love the sheer quantity of tests that they do because it gives you just such an advanced picture of what's going on inside. If you want to learn more and join Function, the first 1,000 people to use my link will get a $100 credit towards their membership. Visit www.functionhealth.com/BeccaB or use my gift code BeccaB100 at sign up to own your health. Next is something to grab. So I always like to have some kind of snack that is something that I can literally just grab out of the fridge if I need it. And goes for my kids too. They eat most of this stuff. Sometimes it's literally just beef sticks from the store, but if I am going to make something, hard-boiled eggs are always such a simple, easy to pull off option. We also have a ton of chicken, so we have a lot of eggs, especially this time of year. I just stick them in my Instant Pot. I do the 5-5-5 method. You can Google that if you've never heard of it, but they pretty much come out perfect every time. It's very hands-off because it's in my Instant Pot instead of having to watch them boil on a stove. And I just peel them, which this is where it can usually go wrong. You spend all this time hard boiling eggs and then you go to peel them and everything's peeling off and you're like, why did I do this? I hate this. But stick them in a glass cup or a mason jar and just give them a good shake. The shell will literally slide right off and it will absolutely make your day. And I just stick them in the fridge, and anytime I need something quick that has, again, protein to keep me going, sprinkle a little salt on it, boom, there you go. I also have shared before, I love these peanut butter chocolate, like homemade protein bars. I feel like I went through the ringer over the last year trying out different like no bake bar recipes, and these by far are the winner. I will link this recipe down below. It's the only one I have made repeatedly because it's that good. I use collagen for the protein. They are filling, they are good. My kids love these, of course. They're peanut butter and chocolate, who doesn't? We are all always so happy when these are in the fridge because, again, something easy to grab, protein to keep us going, and they taste really good. Another thing that I am continually just prepping, kind of in a flow in my kitchen, is making something fermented for gut health. I am big on fermented foods because gut health is so important. And I also just love to eat fermented foods. For the most part, my family also likes fermented foods. Some are hit or miss, but I always have something. So one of my go-to like ride or die staples is good old sauerkraut. You guys have seen me make this on my channel many times, but I just do chop up a bunch of cabbage. For every like small-ish head of cabbage, I do about a tablespoon. So if it's a really big cabbage, I will do 2 tablespoons of salt, and I just mix all that up, mash it until it basically creates its own brine, throw it in a jar and store it for about a week or so. I just keep taste testing it after like 5 days just to see how it's going. And then you just stick it in the fridge. It will stay good for basically until you finish it. And it's just a great thing to add to meals as a side dish, just a great way to get in that probiotic rich real food. I usually also make some kind of fermented beverage. I go back and forth between kombucha and water kefir. Right now I'm on a water kefir kick, which I shouldn't say we all prefer. I prefer water kefir even though I love kombucha. I just love the taste of water kefir because it doesn't have that vinegary tang. And also I just can never make kombucha as good as the store-bought kombucha. So we do often, like from Costco, we'll get like a big box of kombucha because it just simply tastes better. I just haven't perfected it. But water kefir, I feel like always tastes really good. I just get grains from Cultures for Health, and then you reuse those grains for continual batches. I usually use grape juice to make like a grape soda, and my kids love this because it basically tastes like grape soda. And it provides so many probiotics to help our guts flourish, which is just a win-win. So that's another thing that I am just continually prepping. Once you kind of get water kefir going or kombucha going, you're just on a rotation. Every few days, you're making a new batch. You're getting the previous batch set up for the second fermentation. And it's something that you can very easily get into a flow with. Lastly are baked goods. So sandwich bread is a huge staple for me. You have seen me make my sandwich bread recipe many times. It's on my blog. I will link it down below for you guys. It is the best sandwich bread I have found that uses fresh milled flour while still being fluffy because it's not 100% fresh milled. And it's the one sandwich bread that my kids absolutely love to eat. So I will make sandwich bread, or I will make, maybe burger buns, or tortillas is another big one. And I will sometimes, make these things as needed, but I try and just instead get into a rhythm of, if we're gonna be home for a few hours, like in the afternoon or the morning, I will just get something started when I have time, and then I put it in the freezer. So that way I'm not always having to make something from scratch that day when we need it, because that can feel a little bit burdensome if you're not spending a whole lot of time at home, and it just simply makes it harder to pull off. So getting in that rhythm of like, okay, we're gonna be home all afternoon, what can I make and stick in the freezer, so that way we have some kind of homemade, oftentimes freshly milled flour, nourishing baked good. And this is an especially important one because it is incredibly hard to find high quality bread products at the store. You'll make out the best in the bakery section, but still there are always additives and things in there, especially if you're buying like the squishy bread in the bread aisle. Whole paragraph of ingredients. That is something that is just personally a hard pass here in my house, and you save so much money when you make bread products yourself. So those are the 4 main categories I would say right now that I'm really focused on as far as creating rhythms and creating flows in my kitchen. This is what's currently really working for me in my kitchen. Each week I just kind of think of these 4 things and think about kind of, okay, when can I make these things? When can I kind of fit it in? And it is more of a flow, and like a loose flow instead of a rigid schedule. Like I said before, there are times where I have had, like in my mom master list, I have certain days we make certain things, and I'm a lot more rigid about it, because sometimes that's really actually helpful because it allows me to just take the thought out of it and I just kind of follow the schedule I've created for myself. But then other times I find that I'm just not able to keep up with it, so a flow works better. So I just want to encourage you guys to kind of get in your kitchen and play around and figure out what works for you, and what works for you right now might not work for you 6 months from now. And that's okay. It's all about just evolving and literally flowing with how can we make this work right now in this season. There may be some seasons you do more, there may be some seasons you do less, but I think as long as you just kind of keep that flow there, create some rhythms to at least have a baseline, cooking and baking and preparing real food can become something that is almost second nature and not something that can really overwhelm you or require a ton of thought. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I hope that you're walking away with a new tip or a new idea that you can implement or execute in your own kitchen for your family. If you are new, welcome. I would absolutely love for you to subscribe and join my little community here on YouTube, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.